Hello again my friends, this is the Boy News Dog and welcome to the channel where I talk about, play, rank and review games on the Evercade old and new. In today's episode we're continuing our butchers of the launch Evercade carts with their second Evercade console collection, Namco Museum Collection 1. There is a healthy selection of 11 titles in this collection and I will admit to finding this quite tricky to rank as it's another cart I would certify as a banger. I need to get a sticker for the carts that are a Boy News Dog certified bangers. Now, a few things before we get started. Not only is it a legacy cart, meaning it is harder to track down and prices for it are going up, it's also locked out of the VS. So if you don't have an Evercade handheld of some description or the Alpha, you can't play it. But extra side note, if you do have an original white or black EXP, you can plug it into your telly and play it on the big screen at the slightly less resolution of 720p. It goes without saying when ranking these games, a game higher up the list won't necessarily be technically superior than a game lower down the list. Maybe just so I have more fun with it. I also have a few leanings, certain game types I lean towards and certain others I lean away from. Right, now all that's out of the way, let's get stuck in. Number 11. And in 11th place is Metal Marines, an isometric strategy game developed by Namco and originally released in 1993. The world has been decimated by war and been divided up into many islands. Your job is to defeat the evil Zorgoth who is trying to take over the world. Lots to love, lovely art throughout, although when I was younger I used to love strategy games. I just can't get into them anymore. A lot of time is needed to get into it all. Time I just don't have when there are so many other games I prefer to play on the cart and work gets in the way. Though there is, I believe, a bit of a starter guide on the Evercade website which helps. I think this game is very good for all it does, it's just not for me. Number 10. And in 10th place is Quad Challenge, a racing game developed by Namco and released in 1991. I kinda am hot and cold with this one. I always enjoy racing games and it's quite fun trying to time the high and low gear. There's a bit more to it in this title when attempting bends. Nowhere as simple as it first appears, but it's fun when you get the hang of it. There are 15 tracks, 4 different races and a choice of colours, so a decent sized game to attack. But the small screen you're actually racing in may put some off, especially on the Super Pocket, but it's not bad at all really. Number 9. And in 9th place is Librar, a single screen action puzzler developed by Namco and released in 1994. Control 2 arrows connected by a stretchable line, one with a D-pad or stick and one with the face buttons. Move the line around pegs and trap mushling characters or enemies or treasures within by surrounding them and join the lines up to take them off the board. Does that make sense? An interesting game that I will admit I had a laugh trying to play on the Alpha, and you sort of can, but it takes a while for your brain to cope with the angle of the buttons compared to the direction it moves on the screen. But after a while you can sort of trick your brain and actually play the game for some time. Of course it's much easier to play on the EXP or Super Pocket, and due to the button layout, it just feels better suited to a handheld. I did have much fun with this, but nowhere near as much as I did with the other titles. Number 8. And in 8th place is Mappy, a platformer and one of the first to include side-scrolling, developed by Namco and released in 1984. Mappy is a police mouse who seems to be obsessed with collecting valuables in a house before a gang of Meowkies can catch him. I know many love this game, and I don't bemoan playing it as much as I used to. It's fun on the Alpha and just as playable on the handhelds. It's nice you're invulnerable on the trampolines, definitely use them to your advantage, and opening doors to hit enemies or send a microwave out to hit enemies further afield is fun. There are also fun bonus balloon popping mini games that pop up. I will however admit, I play for a little while and then get a bit bored. Keep thinking of other games I'd rather play. Number 7. And in 7th place is Battle Cars, a Mode 7 style battle racing game developed by Namco and released in 1993. Set on a post-apocalyptic world in which the sport of choice is a violent auto race called Battle Cars, with a choice of 3 different vehicles, each in a choice of colours, always important, and a shot between matches to upgrade various components like acceleration, turbo, brake, tyres, etc., and weapons like spinning discs, missiles and grenades, and races in different time zones. There is a lot to love and keep me coming back for more time in the game. So I'm surprised myself, I thought this would be higher. I really dig Mode 7 style games, especially races, so this is fun, a bit fiddly on the alpha considering placements of L1 and R1, but still doable. A better home will always be on the XP, it's an absolute blast. Number 6. And in 6th place is Galaxian, a single-screen space shooter developed by Namco and released in 1984. It's a classic game and a shoot-'em-up, so why isn't it in my top 5? No real reason, a couple of new and old unlocked addictions are inbound, meaning this had less of a chance in the top 5, that's all. Just take a minute to learn the placements of enemy columns so you're not constantly shooting between, and the best position to be in to shoot each type of enemy as it breaks from the pack and comes after you. Lots of fun, but much trickier than its gorgeous cousin Galaga, but I still bloody love it. Number 5. And in 5th place is Mappy Kids, a side-scrolling platformer developed by Namco and released in 1989. You play the son of Mappy, a desperate for a wife but only able to if you can prove you can provide for your family. My first old addiction re-unlocked, I forgot I had it for this game. I love a good map and the platforming is very playable. At the end of each you get a mini game and then you can buy items in your shop to do up your house. I can't get enough. The alpha reawakened the obsession, but the XP is where I keep digging it out for one more shot. Bloody love this one. It had to be in my top 5. Number 4. And in 4th place is Suos, a vertical scrolling shooter developed by Namco and released in 1984. A massive shock to all my long-term viewers, a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up in my top 5. Who'd have thunk it, eh? It's always been fun and it continues to be fun, a simple game that breaks you in gently to begin with but soon ramps it up. A joy in whichever system you use, well except the VS of course. Bloody brilliant game. Number 3. And in 3rd place is Starluster, a first-person space simulator developed by Namco and released in 1985. Take control of Dan Hynek, I think that's how you pronounce it, a pilot of the starfighter Gaia, whose mission is to fight the evil being Batura and its minions who are trying to conquer the universe. Completely forgot how much I love this. Thankfully, the training mode helped me get back into the swing. I can't lie, this is amazing on the alpha. Unfortunately, as it won't work on the VS, you can't grab an arcade stick to enjoy it with. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic on the XP and fine on the Super Pocket, although the screen is a bit small for this one. But the arcade stick totally elevates it. I could not stop playing this. It's hard, but I don't care, I will try again. The star chart to navigate, planets to fly to, bases to reach, and get full energy back, enemy waves to destroy, using the map to make sure you're getting any that get too near the bases, planets or stars. Adventure mode adds even more, bloody amazing, I love it so much. Number 2. And at number 2 it is PacMan, a maze game, no, the maze game, developed by Namco and released in 1984. This can't be a surprise, it's the legend himself. Of course he'd be in the top 3, a classic that never ages, whichever version you've got. I will never tire of it, never. Fantastic on handheld or alpha. There's funny not much to say about this title, except it needs to be played, it must be played. He calls to you, my friend, when you're fast asleep at night. He whispers into your ear, play me, play me, play me. All hail the PacMan. Number 1. And of course at number 1 is Dig Dug, a digging maze game, best way to describe it I suppose, developed by Namco and released in 1985. Oh my beloved Dig Dug, the first game I ever played, and it was the 2600 mutant version. I knew no different. I loved that version. I got good at that version. Very good. I love this version. I need to practice and be as good as I was. Probably never will be with these hands. It won't stop me. Or change my love for Dig Dug. Murtop just cemented my love for it. You can hammer the button in Dig Dug and inflate enemies until they pop. That will never grow old. Never ever. By the way, did I mention I love Dig Dug? And my final thoughts, an absolutely sensational car, even though the bottom 2 I don't touch often. They are still great games if that's what you're into, with phenomenal shooters within and a very addictive platforming game. If you can find it at a decent price and have a handheld or alpha, this is a fantastic addition to your library. Right, that's the first 2 launch collections down, and already we've got brilliant variety and a decent selection of classics. This really was a great lineup, wasn't it? I don't think I may have appreciated that at the time. And if you made it here to the end of the episode, thanks ever so much for joining me. Leave a thumbs up or comment if you'd like, but even if not, I'm still chuffed you poked your head in for a goosey gander. Join me in the next episode when we are delving into the 3rd Evercade Collection, Data East Collection 1. Fans of the arcade collection will see some familiar faces here, and once again my arch nemesis returns. Maybe if I loosen a rung on the ladder or 2? I hope you're having an awesome day, my friends, and until next time, be seeing you.